All right, back again. This one's gonna be short, man. It's another installment of the fresh out the movie theater movie take. This time, Scary Stories. Oh, you can't even fucking see because of the glare. Doesn't matter. Scary Stories to tell in the dark. You can't read it. Oh well. Fucking, bro, I can never get the light. Whatever. This ain't professional, clearly. I'm in a fucking car. This movie was terrible, bro. This movie was ass. I ain't even gonna lie. Pure butt cheeks, bro. Straight up. Glad that I seen it on a Tuesday. Probably should have went to go see Brian Banks instead, but decided, let me see a scary movie. Terrible. Bad acting. The comedic relief. Coach needed to sub him out. He was trash. It was terrible. They had bruh from Euphoria in there. I forget his name. White boy who was nerdy in Euphoria, and in this one he was like a bully, and that was interesting to see. I appreciated seeing him do a different role. But yeah, it just felt like all the script, the acting, the editing, very bad. Very, 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 very bad, to be honest. In my opinion, it just felt like some scenes were pieced together, some dialogue rather, more so the dialogue at time. And realistically, the comedic relief character, I don't know his name. He was terrible. He was very, 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 very bad. Then there was a sprinkle of racism in there. Which I have different views on. Part of me is like, well, what the fuck was the point of this? But it was, I want to say it was taking place damn near in Texas when Nixon was running for president. Yeah, it was a whole Nixon agenda going on there. Just, it almost felt like they were trying to be like Get Out, and be just very witty with the imagery and the foreshadowing. However, it wasn't executed well. And then they alluded at the end to a sequel, which I don't know how the fuck that's gonna go. But they might. I think that this movie may have hit some decent numbers for them in theaters, just because of the nostalgia of the name and the story. You know, everybody had at some point, for the most part, had these stories read to them in their elementary school classes or whatever. But yeah, and I'll be honest with you, the whole time I was kind of the one of the main characters was Mexican, Puerto Rican, but he looked Indian, and I was questioning. I was like, I hope this isn't. I haven't confirmed what he is. Michael Garza is the actor. Michael Garza. But I think he does have some Latino in him. But the boy was looking. I was like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't cast a Latino role, and they put an Indian in his role. But I don't know. I don't think he is. I think he is actually Latino. Yeah, there was parts where his car was marked wetback, and it was weird. Like, I'm upset with it because I'm like, well, what the fuck was the point of having the racist shit in there for what? But I guess, I mean, to show the time period or whatever. I would have liked a solution, but maybe that's the point. Yep, racism is here. There is no solution. I don't know. It just didn't sit well, just because the rest of the movie would. Like, for example, when they discovered that wetback was written all over the car and windows were beat up and shit, the terrible comedic relief tried to compare it to a time that somebody farted in his milk carton and made him drink it. Who the fuck was writing in this movie? I don't know, dude. That's bad writing. That was bad writing. And it was bad delivery. But then again, I can't. For one, it's a teenage actor as far as I know. For two, if the lines are that, I mean, what can you do with it, I guess? Man, yeah. Aside from the fact that it's fucking nighttime and you can barely, I'm mad that I couldn't show you the ticket. $5.75. There we go. You can see it. All right, cool. And I got this damn fucking pimple right here. Yeah, if you do go see this movie, try to sneak in for free. To be honest with you, well, don't disrespect the directors and whatnot. They put a lot of work into it. I will say that the whatever the CGI, whatever the special effects team The special effects team on this movie, kudos to them. I think they did do a pretty good job. They did a nice job bringing some stuff to life. Excuse me. It's just everything else was executed terribly, in terms of the actual acting and the storyline. Dragged quite a bit. Never really knew what was going on, and then it ends on a corny note. It ends on this note. They send the Mexican to Vietnam because he was a draft dodger, and that was the happy. So, I mean, it left a cliffhanger, I guess, because a couple of friends were still missing at the end, and the young girl stated that she's going to find them. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if it's worth going to see this. I don't know if anybody's anticipating the sequel. I don't know if after the end, in the next month or so, if box office sales are going to determine whether or not that sequel that may have already been signed on for is actually going to fall through and happen. It was bad. It was a very bad movie. But I'm glad that it was a scary movie that came out in the summer that was bad, because if you put a scary movie out in prime time and Halloween time and it's bad, oh my God, you're done. They also paid homage to Night of the Living Dead. There was a scene in there where Night of the Living Dead, the original, was shown. I appreciated that. I did appreciate some of the imagery as well. This is probably the second movie in the past few weeks where we're taking the 60s kind of time period and putting it into a movie with Once Upon a Time on Hollywood was the last one. I appreciate it. It's nice imagery. And then I guess to an extent, I appreciate them being realistic about the racial tension. However, it just felt unnecessary, just because the rest of the movie was so bad. Had the rest of the movie been decent, the rest of the acting been decent, the best actor was a police officer. I think he did his job the best. Other than that, I gotta start auditioning, bro. This is bullshit. This trash. Yeah, man. Scary stories to tell in the dark. That's your review. Whatever.